Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the all-new 2020 Lincoln Aviator. The Aviator is all new for 2020, but as always, we're going to do a quick walk around on the vehicle, then we're going to take it out to see how it drives, and a big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller, Ford Lincoln here in Draper, Utah for providing us with the vehicle. If you're on the market for new Ford or Lincoln, check these guys out, and then if you are stopping for the first time, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe. Under the hood of the Aviator, we have a all-new 3-liter twin-turbo V6 that's rated through a 10-speed automatic transmission. In terms of power outputs, it's good for 400 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque, and then fuel economy numbers are 17 around town and 24 on the highway. And then this actually has hydraulic hood struts, whereas the new Explorer just has like a hood prop, so good job, Lincoln. So this paint is called Iced Mocha Premium Colorant. Very interesting name, but it's kind of like a brownish silver metallic. Looks very, very premium and luxurious. But we can look at the lighting for the Lincoln Aviator. It has full LEDs. You can see the turn signals are LEDs as well, but LED projector bulbs, and then you've got all of your fog lamps just down below. Parking sensors integrated into the bumper, and then you've got Lincoln's new signature front end grille. And this, just like the new Explorer, just has like a massive presence to it from the front end perspective. So we have these premium 22-inch rims, which are absolutely massive on 275mm tires in the front and in the rear as well. And you'll note that the tire is hugging the car very, very tightly. That's because this has air suspension, so it's kind of lowered down ride height setting. It's going to make the ride height a little bit smoother and give you some adjustability on that side of things as well. We've got little Aviator badging there on the side. Here is the key fob of the Aviator. So you've got the Lincoln badge on the side, and it's Ford's basically upgraded key fob that they share with Lincoln, but got all the regular functions on it, and you can remote start it by pressing that button twice. That 3-liter twin-turbo V6 will start right up out of the quad outlet exhaust, and then you can press it again to shut it off, and then you press the button down there, and the tailgate will open right up. Now that we're in the back, we can pull this up, extra storage space, and then you've got a little 12-volt here. You got the seat lowering, so we can lower or raise the third row just via electronics right there, which is pretty simple and straightforward. And then if you want to lower the tailgate or lock the car, so that's to lock it, and then this is to lower the tailgate, and that locks the whole car, by the way, so you can pull something out of the rear, then lock it and leave the Lincoln. Finishing things, we've got this huge light bar, which I think looks pretty cool. Lincoln on the back right there, and then you've got little bezel. You can have a tow package under there, and then you've got parking sensors on the rear. So you're looking at this door handle, and I made this same mistake. So you walk up and you try to pull it like a regular door handle, and you can't. It's electronic. There's this little tab that you press. So it's a full electronic door handle, and to actually open the door, you have to press that button. So similar to what they have on like the Chevy Corvettes, for example. We've got this black trim, window control, and then you've got the speakers for the sound system, which I think look cool. This nice leather padding with the stitching. You can see that there's little sunshades right here for the rear passengers. And then we can look at the rear seats. This one has a bench configuration. You can get captain chairs if you'd want. You can see the little charging stations just down below with the whole climate section. So there's a little screen for the rear passengers to control their climate back here. And then if we look out into the third row, the legroom there is pretty decent. It's pretty much the same as the Explorer. And then we can pull out this little thing for the cup holders if you do get the bench seat like this particular one has. Coming up to the front, we've got that same entry with the door, so it's all electronic, and then that's your door handle right there. We can see all of our window controls right here, mirror controls, lock and unlock. Here's your memory seats. These are your seat adjustments on the side of the door, so similar to what Mercedes does. And then we see speakers again for the sound system. Now looking at the seats right here, I love Lincoln's front seats. So they've got nice bolsters all throughout, so you can have a ton of adjustability with these seats. So you can see that all with these controls right here, but they look cool on top of that. And then we can look at the pedal layout. Just like the new Explorer, pull that latch twice and that'll open up the hood. And then you've got the tailgate release right here, all of your light controls in that area, and then the steering wheel is power adjustable. Stepping into the Aviator, to turn it on, you just have to put your foot on the brake and push the push start, and then the Aviator will start right up. You get this cool little graphic right there that'll happen. Here's the steering wheel in the Aviator, and it's a really nice steering wheel in general. I like the design of it. I like how they have leather all throughout the steering wheel, so the whole steering wheel has premium materials on it. But we've got all of our controls for the phone system and the pages for right there. And then it's really hard to see because this is black, and it's even hard to see in the daytime, but you've got your cruise control settings right here. There are little buttons on the back of the steering wheel right there, but the actual things for them are right here, but you really can't see them. And then we have all of our controls for the radio with the volume and all of that, and then that's actually also your cruise control button. And then you've got paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel to shift that 10 speed by yourself, and then you've got all your regular stocks just behind the steering wheel. So something to note on this steering wheel is this is actually a mini screen. So depending on what menu that you can go into, essentially will change the screen. So you can see that I changed the menu there, and that will actually change this part on the steering wheel, which I think is a neat little thing. More manufacturers need to add something like that. So here's that little center screen. It's pretty configurable, so you can put basically anything that you want. You can have it be a little speedo. You can see different bits of vehicle information. You can put like navigation onto the screen. There's pretty much anything you can do. It's really, really customizable, which is popular in this kind of like luxury SUV segment. Here is the center touchscreen. So really, really responsive unit. It's got plastic on it, so it's kind of making things difficult, but you can see that there's a bunch of adjustability. Note that this does have massaging seats, so you've got all these different things you can do, which is nice that they actually have that. We're gonna go for a relax and recovery after my long day of filming. And then you can notice that there is ambient lighting that you can also customize too. There's a bunch of different colors that you can kind of go through, so it's cool that you can change the lighting on the interior. You've got your navigation, all of that, but in general, really, really responsive touchscreen, really easy to use, and it's pretty straightforward in general. Like the controls, everything on this is just straightforward. And if we actually pop the Aviator into reverse, you can see a backup camera will pop up, so you got little trajectory lines right there and a bird's eye view. And then you can switch between a couple different camera views on it. You can see that there's a little thing right there if you ever are towing with it, but it's nice that it gives you all these different camera views, so it makes parking the Aviator a lot easier. I've got another button for the camera system right there, and then we've got all of our controls for the gear selectors right here, which is interesting. It's little buttons, but it is something that you can get used to pretty quick. And then you've got all of your controls for the radio, and you can lock out the rear because the rear passengers can't control the radio. Heated steering wheel, heated seats and cooled seats in the front, and then this is all your climate controls for the front passengers. There is a rear climate you can control from the front on top of that. A bunch of storage here in the front, so you've got a couple cup holders, and you can cover things if you want. Some charging stations, you got your parking brake, and then you have your drive mode select. This is the fun thing. So turn the steering wheel so you guys can see right here, and you can see that there's a bunch of different drive modes. So you've got Excite, which is like excited driving, I guess. You've got Conserve, Normal, Slippery, Deep Conditions. So it's just funny how there's all these different drive modes and just the way that they describe them. I know that this is already on the Lincoln Navigator, but it's cool that they have it on this and they've kind of carried it over because it's funny the names that they put for the different drive modes. Now we've got our full center console here with leather, and then we can open this up, all lined with felt inside there. And then we can actually pop over to the glove box here. So pretty normal size glove box, again, lined with felt since this is a luxury car. There's more of that black trim above with the leather and the stitching, and it's definitely very premium in general. Up top here we have all of our light controls, and then you've got little sunglass control, universal garage door opener, and microphones for the Bluetooth. It does have a full panoramic sunroof, so it'll let a ton of light into the cabin here on the new Aviator. Now to wrap things up, the interior on this Aviator is very premium. I love all of the wood trim and the leather. Everything just feels nice and looks nice on the interior. And in terms of pricing on the Aviator, this one stickers for just over $75,000 before any market adjustment. That all being said though, let's take the Aviator out to see how it drives. Before we take off in the Aviator, get it because planes, anyways, let's go over visibility. So you can see that the visibility over the hood, pretty solid overall on that. It's hard to tell exactly where it ends, but it's not bad by any means, as you guys can see. And then you can see the visibility throughout both of the mirrors, pretty solid on that aspect. You can see visibility over the shoulder is pretty decent. That window right there helps. That seat gets in the way though. And then we can see visibility over your other shoulder, pretty decent. There is a blind spot there, but it does have blind spot monitoring, so that is going to help on that side of things. So as you can see, we're setting off here in the Aviator, and let's look at the steering. So you can see the steering is actually really direct. This drives really, really similar to the 2020 Explorer, and it's assuming that they're built off of the same platform actually. Now you can see we're about to get on the interstate again. You can see more steering with the Aviator, and obviously there's a meter, so we're gonna have to sit for a minute before we can get a real acceleration here. And while we're waiting for that, let's actually turn it into Excite for responsive and engaging driving. Let's get an acceleration here and see what 400 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque feel like. How the RPMs do through the gauge is actually pretty cool. Let's put it back into normal now, or I should say conserve. Now, let's talk about road noise and ride quality. There's not a whole lot of road noise that actually comes in the cabin, which I'm surprised. Those 22-inch rims are massive, and usually that leads to a little bit more road noise. But ride quality is also exceptionally smooth. I think that's due in part to the air suspension that this Aviator has. But I mean, overall, it's a very luxurious feeling SUV in general. So Lincoln's done a phenomenal job with just making this feel luxurious overall. And even though they put big bad boy rims on it, doesn't change things all that much. Now let's kind of sum things up on the Aviator here, and I know that $75,000 sounds like a ton for an SUV, but this is a third row luxury SUV, and I mean, this whole time I've been filming this review, I've been getting probably the best massage of my life, sadly, and having my butt cooled at the same time while riding very, very comfortably, which that just doesn't happen all that often. So I mean, if you are in the market for a luxury third row SUV, then the Aviator is definitely an awesome option to check out. It comes with a ton of luxury features, a ton of safety tech as well, and Lincoln's finally doing names that make a little bit of sense. So if you are in the market for an SUV on the luxury side of things, like I said, check out the new Aviator. It's worth a look. There we have it, everyone, the all-new 2020 Lincoln Aviator. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching. And again, a big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Draper, Utah, for providing us with the vehicle. If you're on the market for new Ford or Lincoln, check these guys out. Comment down below what you thought. If you're stopping in for the first time, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe. I'll see all of you in that next video.